The Customer Carbon Footprint tool allows you to view the estimated carbon footprint associated with your usage of AWS services, helping you to track, measure, and review the carbon emissions generated from your AWS usage. Sustainability is both a personal responsibility as much as it is a business priority. AWS has the most extensive global cloud infrastructure for all of your applications, and we build with sustainability in mind. Sustainability is integrated into the way we design, build, and operate our AWS infrastructure. In 2019, Amazon co-founded the Climate Pledge, which is our commitment to reach net zero carbon across our global operations by 2040, a decade ahead of the Paris Climate Agreement. In 2023, Amazon met its goal 7 years early to match 100% of the electricity consumed across our operations, including our data centers, with renewable energy. According to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, Amazon is the largest corporate purchaser of renewable energy globally for 5 years running and has invested billions of dollars in more than 600 wind and solar projects. In 2024, Amazon signed 4 nuclear energy agreements as part of its plan to transition to carbon-free energy. Beyond the positive environmental impact, these projects also provide jobs for local communities. Moving to AWS Cloud offers many benefits, including increased agility and innovation, as well as access to the broadest portfolio of services. A 2024 Accenture study found that the AWS cloud is up to 4.1 times more energy efficient than on-premises data centers. The study further showed that optimizing these workloads on AWS can reduce the associated carbon footprint by up to 99%. AWS relentlessly innovates its infrastructure to build the most secure, reliable, and performant cloud for our customers worldwide. With each stop on our roadmap, AWS works to maximize resource efficiency while minimizing waste. We continue to enhance our circular economy strategy, which rests on 3 core pillars: design better, operate longer, and recover more. This includes avoiding excess materials, enabling repair and reuse, and integrating recycled content from the start. For example, AWS uses 30% recycled or bio-based plastics in our server rack components. AWS has also extended the lifespan of Amazon's Simple Storage Service S3 hard disks by up to 2 years through consolidation of functional drives. And since 2023, over 23.5 million AWS hardware components have been recycled or sold on the secondary market. The AWS well-architected framework helps you build secure, high-performing, resilient, and more efficient infrastructure for a variety of applications and workloads. The sustainability pillar of the framework provides a way for you to measure architecture against sustainability practices and uncover areas for improvement, while focusing on reducing the energy consumption of your workloads. The framework includes questions aimed at helping you evaluate the design, architecture, and implementation of workloads to help reduce energy consumption and improve efficiency. Much more than a simple checklist, it's designed to be a tool that customers can use to track their progress towards policies and implement best practices that support a more sustainable future. In order to meet sustainability goals and stay compliant with various regulations, customers want the ability to measure carbon emissions associated with the usage of AWS Cloud. The AWS Customer Carbon Footprint tool makes it easier to track, measure, and review the carbon emissions generated from your AWS usage. It shows your estimated carbon emissions by AWS region and select services, including EC2 and S3. Here's how it works. Estimates are calculated using the greenhouse gas protocol and are shared in easy-to-understand data visualizations. If you'd like to learn more about the high-level methodology or dive deep into the detailed methodology behind calculations in the CCFT, you can do so in the user guide. The CCFT methodology has been reviewed and assured by an independent third-party auditor. To access the AWS Customer Carbon Footprint tool, first log into the AWS Management Console. Click your account name in the top right and select Billing Dashboard. Select the Customer Carbon Footprint tool in the left navigation bar under Cost and Usage Analysis. Once you've loaded the Customer Carbon Footprint tool, you will have the option to set the time periods you want to view. Data is delivered once a month, and you can look back at data up to 3 years. As you set your preferred time periods, the dashboard will refresh with the estimated carbon emissions generated during that time. First, you will see your carbon emissions summary. This is your total carbon footprint in tons of CO2e, or carbon dioxide emissions equivalent, calculated using the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. You can also see the emissions you have avoided because of AWS renewable energy purchases. In the next section, there are 3 tabs showing where your emissions were generated. The first tab shows your emissions over time. The second tab shows your emissions by AWS service. The last tab shows emissions by AWS region. You can click on the Download button on the top right corner of the Customer Carbon Footprint tool to download the detailed data as a CSV file. Some AWS customers may see changes in their estimated AWS carbon footprint over time. These changes reflect adjustments made in the tool to more accurately estimate customers' carbon footprint from their use of AWS. To make it easier for customers to use the data from the Customer Carbon Footprint tool, you can also export your carbon data through AWS's Billing and Cost Management Data Export service. The Carbon Emissions Data Export delivers carbon emissions estimates for all member accounts linked to your management account when you use AWS organizations. The Data Export service automatically delivers monthly updates in CSV or Parquet format to Amazon S3, allowing you to automate the processing of carbon data for reviews and dashboards across your entire AWS organization. With your first export, you'll receive up to 38 months of historical data in your S3 bucket to allow for historical analysis. To access carbon emissions data exports, log into the AWS Management Console. Choose your account name in the top right and select Billing Dashboard. Select Data Exports in the left navigation bar under Cost and Usage Analysis. Choose Create, then select Standard Data Export under Export Details and give your data export a name. Then select Carbon Emissions under Data Table Content Settings. By default, all available columns will be selected for your export, but you can remove any columns from the export to reduce the resulting file size. Data export can store data in CSV or Parquet format. We recommend you select Parquet because it is a format that can be stored and queried more efficiently, preserves the data types in columns, and is readable by most big data tools. You can select whether to overwrite existing data export files or create a new, separate S3 prefix when new data is available. Overwriting previous files can save Amazon S3 storage costs. If you choose to create a new prefix, it's easier to compare new files to previous ones. Next, select which S3 bucket to place your data export in, and the path prefix you would like to use for your files. You can also include a tag if you would like. Finally, click Create. Your export request will be submitted and you will be able to see the data within 24 hours in your selected S3 bucket. The first time you request an export, we will deliver historical data for 38 months. Subsequent reports will be automatically generated monthly. After the export is generated in S3, you can load it into a data analytics tool such as Amazon Athena or Amazon Redshift to gain insights into your carbon emissions.